And we have further confirmation, people. We have big confirmation with this episode. Rebecca's jugs are still huge. So to be honest with you, the first half of this episode, up until like the 12, 13 minute mark, for the most part, it was Rebecca coming to the ring, getting jeered, and Cavendish tells the people, stop jeering her, you know, fuck off. Respect to Cavendish for doing that, but in all honesty, this episode felt like Toei just stretching to the point where it becomes completely ridiculous. Like, of course, they do their stretching here and there, and for the most part, One Piece is slow paced, but this episode, I just felt like I was in a I was just frozen in time looking at these scenes. The first half of the episode, the only thing that really happened was Rebecca and Cavendish came out to the ring. I will say the best thing that this episode did have to offer was seemingly Lost finally pinned down to the ground. Doflamingo got him, and then Fujitora stopped him and said, no, we want to arrest him. We're not going to kill him. That was really the best thing about this episode, because in all honesty, there was Rebecca fighting a bunch of fodder, getting flashbacks of things we already know, that the toy soldier was teaching her how to fight, and it was just kind of giving us things we already know and stretching things that was supposed to be like really quick for the most part. I mean, how long should it really take? Should it take half an episode for Rebecca to come out to the ring and for Cavendish to come out to the ring and tell people to shut up and stop jeering her? That felt like it was going way overboard with the amount of, stretching. And I felt like they were just trying to show a lot of different things that are going on, but nothing was really happening. It's like, okay, let's see Usopp and the Tontadas, and they're at the hideout. But yeah, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see Zoro running. You're going to see Luffy saying, hey, they need to stop jeering her. But it just really felt like nothing was really going on. In this episode, in all honesty, not much really happened. I was just like, the pacing was beyond, like, they've done slow pacing. They do it a lot. But this episode, not much really happened. It was just like, if it wasn't even attractive a female, Rebecca, I'd imagine people would be screaming even more, but probably people would be a little bit more like, oh, okay, at least we're seeing a fly chick fighting and stuff, but no, like, it just really didn't contribute anything. And again, the best thing that this episode contributed was the Law scenes where he was pinned out and everything, but aside from that, all the Rebecca stuff is like, I like Rebecca now more than ever, especially because of what the past couple episodes have been. But then we get this episode, and it was just like, oh my gosh. First of all, they're making her seem a little bit whinier with this week's episode, and like, she's constantly just sad. This episode just really didn't do it for me at all. It was even trying to hint at little things regarding like Doflamingo's past and how it's complicated, and it was getting little small inklings here or there, but it just really wasn't going anywhere. And I felt like they were just trying to dance around the fact that they're supposed to progress the plot with this week's episode, adding loads of fodder that are trying to gang up on Rebecca. It just felt like this week's episode was nothing like some of the past couple episodes. It just really felt like we were at a complete standstill with some small minor things here or there, but nothing too extravagant and nothing overall pushing forward things. So overall, I'm gonna give this episode a 4 out of 10. It had some small inklings of progression here or there, and I'm glad that at the very least they weren't just showing one dragged out scene. They were trying to show little different things here or there. Usopp and the Tontadas arrived at the hideout, and Rebecca's trying to get over the fact that everyone hates her. Cavendish standing up. It's like small, very small things is happening, but they just stretched out ridiculously. So yeah, 4 out of 10 for this week's episode. What do you think of this episode? Do you think that they were stretching it out too much? Did you think that Rebecca just seemed like a little bit whinier in this week's? Or what did you think of this episode overall? Again, I was just like, I don't know if it's just that recently I've been seeing a lot of different anime that have, great pacing, and then I look back at this episode, but in all honesty, I couldn't just believe that I was over halfway through the episode and only Cavendish and Rebecca walked out to the ring, and that's the only thing that happened. I was just like blown away that they dragged it out that much. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.